Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it's time for your Leeds versus Wolverhampton Wanderers pre-match chat. It's a massive game, especially considering the international break comes after this, just around the corner, and Leeds United need to be buzzing. They need to be buoyant. The atmosphere needs to be good going into that international break. How can we do that? By winning a game of football. It's going to be tough. Wolves are a very good side and have turned a corner under Lopetegui. But Leeds United need to start winning games of football. Will they do it? Who knows? Do you believe they can? I do. Listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and let's get into it.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any love, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Just before we start, folks, I will be live tonight for Forest versus Newcastle, of course. That will impact the course of this season for Leeds United. We know now who the teams are. There's about 8 of us involved in this relegation battle. Forest's one of them. Palace is one of them on Sunday, so I'll be doing that as well. Who have just sacked Vieira, by the way. Cue Jesse Marsh. Imagine the scenes. We shall have to wait and see. He's determined to come back. I'm telling you, he's determined to come back and ruin mine and your life. But we're here to talk about Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, of course, they have turned a corner since Lopetegui come in. He's a great manager with great pedigree, and that was always going to happen. I think Wolves are a very, very good side and have some exceptional players. But listen, their form of late hasn't been great. They have won just one of their last 5 league games. So that doesn't make for great reading. I think that last win coming at home against Tottenham Hotspur, which in isolation you would say is a good result, but Tottenham are also gash. But look, Wolves have a great record at home. They have also a great record against Leeds United. They've won 3 of their last 4 Premier League home games. And they have a record that stretches back to the same amount of games against Leeds, winning 3 of their last 4 head-to-heads at Molineux. Goals have been scarce, though. That has to be said. They do not score a lot of goals, do not Wolves. And to be fair, they're the lowest scorers in the division alongside Southampton and Everton. So that doesn't make for great reading. But also from a Leeds United perspective, it worries me because having done a bit of research, I believe this game's won by 1 solitary goal either way, and we have to get it. Like, we have to get that first goal because I worry that once they get in front, they will be difficult for us to break down. And look, if we can steal a march on them, they don't score many goals, you know. I would have gone for 2-1, maybe Leeds, but having looked at it, I think it's going to be won by 1 solitary goal. I don't think it's going to be an amazing game of football to watch. But listen, it's all about pragmatism right now for Leeds United. It's all about staying in games. I think we'll keep it very tight, and we'll probably see a second-half goal come to Leeds United if indeed we are to win the game. Of course, it could go the other way. I just hope and pray that it doesn't. Alhamdulillah, hallelujah, amen. I hope it doesn't, because if it does go to Wolves and we do lose the game of football, it's going to be a long international break. You know, Leeds United have reasons to be positive. Rodrigo, Patrick Bamford, Sinisterra, all fit, ready, raring to go. Okay, we might not get 90 minutes out of them, but we have some strikers there to pick from. Or people that can score goals. Same can't be said for Wolves. I think Podence maybe has their most goals this season with 5. I'm not saying we have, you know, crazy numbers, but Rodrigo's been smashing it. But I guess what Wolves really lack is a striker. Jimenez has not been the same since he got injured. And they brought in Diego Costa, who hadn't played for about 2 years, which was a mad signing, was never going to work. I think he's injured now anyway, but it just shows the lack of striking options that they had to turn to a guy that hadn't played for 2 years. Now, if Leeds were to get that much-needed win, obviously it could lift us clear of the bottom 3. There are so many important games this weekend. Everton play Chelsea. Southampton are at home to Tottenham. Forest go to Newcastle tonight. There is so many big games. If Leeds United can win, look, it puts us a point behind Crystal Palace, who are in 13th. That's how tight it is down there. We showed resilience in our last outing as well. We came from behind twice to get a 2-2 draw with Brighton. Again, that is not to be sniffed at. I know a lot of people didn't really like the tactics that Javi Gracia employed in the game, or at least in the ground they didn't. But look, Leeds United came up against a very good side. Had they gone hell for leather, the previous manager might have done, then I think would have been picked apart and would have lost maybe 4-0 like West Ham did. However, he was pragmatic and he got us a point and we scored 2 goals, which again can't be sniffed at because goals haven't been, we haven't had a gluttony of goals over the last couple of weeks. So it's important that Leeds United got back amongst the goals. And not only did they get back amongst the goals, they got something for their efforts as well. Even though it was just a point, it's still a massive point against a very, very good Brighton side who are, pushing for Europe. And look, as I've said, I think the game will be won by one solitary goal, but at least it shows us, the fans, and also it is in the players' psyche that if they were to go 1 down, that they do have the resilience to get back into the game. Luke Ayling was speaking about how important it was to get that first goal on his interview with TalkSport. And I think whoever gets the first goal in this one wins the game. I think it's very important for Leeds to do that, and hopefully we can. Again, I'll come back to it. We have options now. Rodrigo, Cini, Bamford should be closer and ready to start. You've got Gio Rutter, you've got Nonto. I think he will go with Harrison, whether you agree or disagree with that decision. Maybe try someone else from the right. I'm not too sure on Somerville. I think defensively he leaves Luke Ayling gaping. Back 4 has to stay the same. And of course, we've got no Tyler Adams, which is a massive, massive loss. But defensive capability is amazing. Progressing the ball is not his strong point, and that's where we've been letting ourselves down of late. If either Rock or McKennie can get the defensive side locked down, then we have better passers of the ball. I mean, McKennie, not much better passer of the ball, but Rocker certainly, better passer than both, probably combined, if I'm being totally honest. It's that lackluster in terms of progressing the ball for Leeds United, in my opinion. You might disagree, but it is what it is. They do lack. And listen, I think the full team do. We get into the final third, we shit the bed. We can't have that this weekend. We need to be, we need to have composure and we need to have that clinicality, that word that I've created. We need to be clinical, and hopefully, someone like a Cini or Rodrigo gives us that clinicality. I think if Rodrigo doesn't get injured when he has the chance against Brighton, he probably finds the back of the net. He's still ring rusty. Hopefully, another week's worth of training. He'll be back fighting, fit, ready, raring to go, scoring the goals that'll keep Leeds United in the Premier League. Now, of course, as I said, Molineux, tough place to go. Wolves have a great record there this season, or have done since Lopetegui came in, winning most recently against Spurs. Have a great record at Molineux against Leeds. And look, Leeds United are not great away from home. We have no league wins since October away from home. That came against Liverpool in that memorable game. And look, our home form's going to keep us up. And since Grazia's come in, we've got 4 points from 2 games. That's a good return. But we do need to pick some up on the road. So Leeds United have to look at Wolves as a winnable game, and we have to because they're down there. The one falter of Jesse Marsh was that he failed to get wins against teams that are in and around him. Gracia's got 1 win against Southampton, and hopefully he can follow it up with some positivity in this game. And I don't mean just performance, I mean a point. Even a point, would both teams take a point? They probably would, and move on to the next week, Obviously, international break, we come back against Arsenal, write that one off, but then we've got Palace and then we've got Forest. Not that way around, but we've got some huge games coming at home. But no away win since October. Am I asking too much for us to go and win? I don't think I am. As I said, it will be a low-scoring affair. I don't see over 2.5. I think 1-0 either way, maybe 1-1. Maybe 1-1. But look, just 2 of Wolves' Premier League games at home this season has witnessed both teams scoring. It is a league low. They are the lowest league scorers alongside Everton and Southampton. So if Leeds United can get in front, it can only be a positive, right? The first goal again, as I said, so important. In most recent games, that first goal has gone to Wolves against Leeds United. 9 of the last 9 games, Wolves have scored first, which means no clean sheet in 9 for us. So maybe, you know, if we are to win the game, maybe it will be 2-1 if history's to be on our side. But again, I'll come back to it. I feel like I'm being a parrot in this preview, but 1-0 either way, and I just hope Leeds United are on the right side of it. You know, it's sort of important that we have a settled team right now, and I think we do have that. You know, they all know what's required and asked of them. I think, you know, it's so important that we have a settled back five, if you like, if you include Meslier in that. You know, I think it's the first time Firpo's played 5 games on the spin for like 5 years. You know, Luke Ayling's doing well at right back, and the centre-back partnership of Cock and Vob has been really good. Mark Rocker, McKennie will have to work together. I'd like to see a change at right wing. I'd like to see Sinistera come in there. Aronson, I get behind Bamford. If Rodrigo can't start and can only give us 45 minutes or so, he will start Jack Harrison, whether or not you agree with that decision. Maybe he'll go 4-3-3. You just don't know with Javi, right? He comes up with a specific game plan for that opponent. So it'll be interesting to see what tactics he does employ. As I say, from a Wolves perspective, the real danger man for me is Ruben Neves. You know, Podence, as I said, has got around about 5 goals. I really like Lamina as well. Defensively, Dawson, Kilman, can they be got? Yes, they can. I'm not sure what's going on with Aitonori, if he's injured or will he play, because I do really like him. Nelson Semedo is really good as well, so Firpo will have his work cut out down that side, specifically if Traore plays as well. But listen, yes, in midfield, they have some great personnel, Moutinho, Lamina, Neves, but you know, I think we can definitely get at that back four, and hopefully, you know, we can see the wingers getting involved. If that's Harrison, it's Nonto, Somerville, Sinistera, whoever it may be, we do have talent in them areas, and I think we can win the game. Look, it's going to be a low-scoring affair. It's not going to be one for the ages. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it might be like pulling teeth at times watching it as a spectacle. But I don't care right now. I just want us to get points on the board. Would I take a point? It all depends on how the rest of the league results go. I know a lot of people will hear me say that and they'll go, no, we need wins. And I get it. But if all the other teams sort of like lost and we got a point, it wouldn't be such a bad thing. But yeah, it's going to be tough. Make sure you join me for the game on Saturday from 2 p.m. Sorry, I should say not 2 a.m. That'd be a long preview. Join me for that. Join me for tonight as well for Forest versus Newcastle. I'll be live Sunday for Palace versus Arsenal as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you change the lineup? I'm assuming a lot of you would take Harrison out. Do you think we can win the game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do smash a like on your way out, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.